I know, right? Me too. Like every time the thumbs, I'm just like, let's go, let's go, let's go.
It's stank. Like who made that thing? Who made that sick beat?
That is Nate. I mean, actually, I don't know who made the beat. Nate made the intro, so he found the beat.
It's heavy. It's heavy. It makes me want to rap.
Welcome back to The Progression, the show where Jason Ackerman may or may not show up, just depending on the week.
Who knows at this point in time? I feel like it's false advertising. Sergio is just straight slamming vodka back there. That's legit.
Whoops.
We have got Sergio back on the show. He was back on May the 4th, and the episode that he was on sparked a little bit of controversy because we had some discrepancies in a workout that we were watching, and we got us all to do it. So if you're in the chat, you're watching, and you did the workout, you remember what your score was, throw it up. Yeah, that's right, Dan. Repeat offender.
Present Robbie Myers and Cannon Stanley. Yeah.
We call him AAA.
There's a lot of A's there.
3 A's.
It's a lot of A's.
Yeah. Sergio, how you doing, dude?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. What time is it over there?
9:30.
Late.
Yeah. And still light.
Still light outside, yeah.
Mm.
That's crazy. It looks like it's like 7 a.m. over there.
Yeah. I think it was still 1 hour before sun goes down.
Sheesh. Well, we've got Sergio back on the show. He wants some more feedback. Last time, we gave him some feedback on it was strict pull-ups, burpees over the bar, and thrusters.
And we're back with thrusters and burpees this time.
Look, coincidence. Coincidence, because he did say he told me in the email that he just filmed his workout yesterday. So it just so happened that this was yesterday's workout. We scheduled this a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Once a month, he destroys them with thrusters and burpees. That's apparently how we're rolling here.
So we got
this is the level 1 workout, right, Serge?
Yeah. Okay. A little disclaimer. I didn't know this was, say, the official level 1 workout now, because when I did the level 1, I had a team of 2 of 100 thrusters and 100 pull-ups.
So I thought, interesting.
I thought it was all the time changing. But since one of my coach was at level 1 a few weeks ago, he wanted to coach it. So I said, okay, let's do it. Let's put it on the whiteboard. And then,
nice.
Yeah, I call it level 1. So basically, This is what now it's been the official level 1 workout.
Yeah, so there's still the potential for kind of the original CrossFit level 1 was Fran. That was like, it's the what's your bench. It's like such an amazing thing. If Dan, if you did that in 2013 at NorCal, then I was there. I can almost guarantee it. I taught everyone there. Dan's right in the little chat, but it was Fran, and we did Fran literally, 2007 to like late 2013, even into 2014, I think it was. The kind of wild thing is, like, we never had any issues. Never. Fran was great. Like, there was a lot of scaling. It like showed a lot of things. So it was like, it's really good to find them. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one random year, 15 to 20 people flew off the pull-up bar and smashed themselves up. It was like literally we had no injuries, no nothing for a solid nearly 10 years. And then all of a sudden, just like everyone was flying off the bar and hitting their head and breaking their arms. And it was just like, what the hell? So like we kind of must have reached like a terminal like velocity of or like a critical mass of people who are like, I should hold on to a bar. And then all of a sudden 1 year they're like, I'm going to let go. And we're like, you know what? We're going to change the workout so that way people don't fly off the bar. So I think something about in the air change, it was wild. But yeah, that's why we changed it to the official one that you're talking about. This burpee thruster, which I think is a way shittier workout than Fran. It's terrible. way harder in my mind. Hey, what's up, Eaton Beaver?
What up, dude? Yeah, Pat did make an appearance on the Savon podcast. He's got more to offer than I do.
My internet. Well, dude, I was like last minute. Like I got texted like the day before by Asia, and he was like, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow on the podcast." And then I didn't hear from Savan until like 30 minutes before the podcast, and I was like, "What?" So I was on there. It was fun.
Dan says he's pretty sure that Margot and Wes were interning. Yeah.
Hell yeah! I remember having them as interns.
All right, Sergio, did you do this workout before you gave it to your class or after?
No, I did the same day. So I wanted the guy, my coach, that wanted to have the workout to coach me. So I did it.
What was your time?
I think 5 minutes.
Around
5 minutes.
That's good. RX?
And the thing was like we had to do the first two sets, at least the first two sets unbroken.
Oh,
and I did them. So
that's awesome.
Pat,
keep going.
You've seen like probably thousands of people go through this workout now.
Thousands,
at the level. What is the fastest time that you've seen on this workout?
I actually witnessed the fastest time on record for this workout, which was 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And it
Male
was
or female?
Male. It was Marcus Philly. So I put Marcus Philly through his level 1, and this was the workout there. And he did it, and he absolutely obliterated it. And it looked gorgeous the whole time. Like, I know Marcus really well. He's a great dude, but like it was pretty, and he just blasted it. And it was like, well, that's insane, So, yeah.
Well, I mean, like I'm assuming probably pretty much useless after that too. Like the rest of that day is just moot for him.
No. So like that's the thing. So like when you get fit enough, those shorter workouts, they never cause you to go to a place that's like it's not enough volume when you're that fit, like to get you. Like 99% of people, if they went that hard to their threshold, like they're done. But because he was a competitor at the time, he's able to just like bounce back. Like if you told me to do that back then, like the same sort of deal. But now, if I were to do that and go that hard, I'm on the floor for weeks. Like it's ridiculous. But I remember like when I was getting my Fran time down personally, my 5-minute Fran felt way worse than my minute 53-second Fran. It was a very, just because it was too short, like when you're like right around 2 minutes, you're like bang on in the glycolytic pathway. So you're using an energy system that can handle a lot faster, a lot more high intensity output. Anyway, yeah.
Well, Sergio, we're gonna see any 2-minute times thrown up in this class?
What we're gonna see?
Are we gonna see any 2-minute times thrown up in this class for this workout?
I don't think so. I think the fastest time was around 4 something, but it wasn't in that class. It was the guy doing beside me where I did it later. And I hate him.
Do you happen to know what the slowest time was?
Slowest time, I think I had the time domain of 3 to 6 minutes, if I recollect right. And then I think somebody went around 6:30, maybe 7.
All right. So you got a pretty good grouping then of like what you were asking for between a 3-minute-ish and a 6-minute-ish.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that intended stimulus you gave him of at least the first 2 rounds unbroken too. Like we don't give that at the level 1. We say you should be able to, but you don't have to. And I love being specific like that. And then the next time you do it, saying you can break it up however you want, that kind of thing where it's like just giving some focus for people always helps them out. I love it. Good job. Matt said, did I bounce off the med ball? No, I did not. There was no med ball. I'm just short, Matt.
Well, like, I mean, if you have big enough legs and short enough legs, then you kind of create your own med ball, right? Like your hamstrings run into your calves. You just kind of bounce off of that.
For sure. I was actually, I was never that though. I'm never beefy enough for it to, my knees they don't shoot as far forward to like do the calf bounce that people do.
Yeah.
Thrusters used to be a really good movement for me. Same with pull-ups.
Last week we were talking about with Dan Hollingsworth, we were talking about like some of the intro stuff, and feeling like you kind of have to give people some of the intensity whenever they're coming through, like as a new member or new to CrossFit in the onboarding process. And we're definitely going to get to this video. This is all related, but in the level 1, especially like with a workout like this, are you guys trying to push people towards that intensity? Like, I mean, some of the people that are showing up for the level 1 have done CrossFit before. Some of them, it's their first time ever, right? It's their first exposure to CrossFit. So like, are you really trying to push them more towards the intensity side of things, or, hey, let's do this as close to perfect as possible, but just, I want you to elevate your breathing? What is that like for you?
Never the one that you just said, the one where it's like, I want you to do as close to perfect as possible. It's never that. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever really said that to someone unless they were injured. Like, I think for me, the border between intensity and technique is not as extreme as you just presented it in my mind of like, you either just hit your head against the wall or you move perfect. Like, there's nothing in between, it's like, I think to me, it's a lot more about, people are moving fast relative to their capabilities. They're always moving safely. We're never letting them move unsafe, but the efficiency isn't quite there. And they're getting the occasional no rep, things like that. But we definitely err on the side of pushing people a little bit more at the level 1, so they get that dose of like, oh, this is what it feels like. And what's interesting is a lot of times this is their first time people have ever worked out in a group of people or with a coach who's like right there. Like a lot of people are just garage warriors, or they've never done CrossFit in a group. They've only done it from going to a local big box gym, and then they'll do their CrossFit in the corner. So a lot of times they'll get in that environment and they'll naturally just push so hard that it's like, whoa, look at that. And it's a fun. I love the vibe at those level 1s.
Sergio, do you have any new people in this class or about to watch?
Yes, I think I have 2, if I recollect you. I think at least one on camera. So yes,
and,
at least one.
And how new are they?
Pretty new in general to CrossFit. So okay. I had to talk to him a little bit extra before we started.
Okay.
So I mean, just exactly what you're saying. I was talking about, okay, today it's not about lifting heavy, it's about moving fast, intensity. And I told that you must be finished inside the 6 minutes.
I love that. I love that you're setting that standard, Sergio. Like, I love that you put that like hard line on it. Like, this is what you got to do, because I think too often it's like, yes, there's occasional times to be like, just finish it, just get it done. We're going to give you a big, long time frame. But I think that should be the rarer occasion than like, I need it to be done in under 8 minutes, like right here, and just be holding people accountable to the intended stimulus. I think far too often people hold people accountable to the RX loading and not to the intended stimulus, which I think is just an utter mistake for their own development and for the culture you create at your space around the pursuit of a number weight wise versus the number time wise.
And I would like to give you credits, guys, for this, because I am just talking with my staff already. I mean, it's been 1 month, you said, since last time. And already since last time, I see we focus a little bit more about stimulus. I remember you were telling me not using too often the time cap. So I haven't used any time cap since. Wow. So just trying to focus on the time domain and to understand the stimulus. So basically scale them correctly. So I should have said that earlier, but this nice. I would like to give you credits about this. So thank you.
Nice. That's awesome, Sergio.
I happen to be a fan of time caps, but it sounds like these guys told you not to do them, but is what it is.
Like, so yeah, something that we've talked about is just like, if you have a good enough whiteboard brief, and if you're touching base with the athletes in a fashion that everybody scales appropriately, that your grouping should be within the time cap anyways, right? And
for sure.
And that's what we're after. Not just, hey, I want you, here's 13 minutes and you can go all the way up to 13 minutes and that's it. It's like, no, like we want you within 8 to 9. And if we've done our job as coaches, like everyone should finish within 8 to 9.
You see the reaction by people when I say, if I say 15 minutes time capsule, oh, okay, I know something's gonna save me at the end.
Yeah.
No, you must be done, say in 13 minutes, whatever. So it takes time. I mean, it's a culture to build up, but
sure.
So yeah, that's where we headed.
Good job.
All right. Well,
so I looked at your notes here, and it said it's basically your previous feedback. You need to do a better job of controlling the reps and calling cues during the warm up. So I'll be looking for that and seeing how well you kind of manage people on your flow.
Yeah.
Pat, you got the control.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome.
I'm glad everybody wore black.
Hello. Hello. See, how do you say in English? See desire, kjøllyst? Nei. Ikke det der? It's not you.
Wait, so what language?
I'm not talking about her.
What language is this?
This should be English, but I mean, I usually use Norwegian. But this class, it's in English. So I was just joking with one member that's moving to a new place called Sjølist in Norwegian. and I thought, okay, let's say that in English. So, yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Well, I love the rapport you're building.
Okay.
Setting the tone. Jokes.
It's going to be see desire, Sjølist. See desire. That's
desire.
That's a place. Så. Er ikke det kult da? Hvor bor du? Hollywood eller Malibu? No, see desire. Okay.
See desire.
Welcome, as I mentioned via
Good
SMS
job. Way to separate the girls on one side, guys on the other.
So
never want those things mixing.
Filmed for evaluation purpose. So it's the second time. It's never good. All right, so
it's never good.
Today we're gonna do level 1.
Just slide it under your breath there. It's the second time. It's never
kilos,
good.
29 kilos and 12 burpees. So let me show you the movements. So thrusters.
Cody's smirking because he knows what I'm going to say. I've always never really been a fan of demoing movements when in the front of the class, because at this point in time they've come to your gym and they've probably done a thruster, they've probably done a burpee. If it was something weird like we're doing a Turkish get up and someone's like, "What the fuck is that?" then I might show them. But you're gonna teach these movements and you're gonna show them once you get down the road to the actual workout. So you might as well wait till you do that. But if you feel like it's necessary for your place, that's your jam. You do you. I think Cody was laughing because he knows I've said this before a few other times, but it's all good. Because demoing them can just.
All right. As simple as that. So
I'm surprised you weren't winded after those burpees and thrusters, though. I mean, that was impressive.
We have a time domain of 3 to 6 minutes. So this is a sprint, or as wisely my guy John said, all out sprint. So that means it's nothing to plan about. So we lift the barbell, kill those two rounds with thrusters, and then survive the last one. Okay? So 3 to 6 minutes. How long did it take previous class?
Matt Burns asked if we're prepping for the level 4, should we demo at the board? I actually don't know what the requirement is there. I could look into that a little closer. If you do demo, I would demo because they talk about the level 2. They talk about showing 2 reps, like 1 from each angle. I just wouldn't belabor it too much. So I'll look into it with some of my level 4 friends, Matt, to see whether or not demo is like you have to demo at some point, but I'm wondering if they're going to want that in front of the whiteboard in the beginning. Because to me, in practicality, that's lost. Like that disappears as soon as you show them it in the beginning, and then what? They're supposed to remember it all the way until the time they get to the actual movement when you reteach it again. So it's like, to me, it doesn't make sense practically, but maybe for a level 4 testing setting, they have a different setup. So I'll check into that for you.
Yeah, I think the main thing there is the double angle, like from the front, from the side. You make sure you capture that, and when you demo, I think it's dependent.
Yeah.
Or something to 5 something.
All right, 4 something to 5 something. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
So that brings us to what we should do with the weight. So scaling options, we can do lighter weight. So as I said, we want to go unbroken for 15 thrusters.
Nice.
Okay, at least the first 2 rounds. All right. So probably some of us should think about have a little less weight on the thruster. Otherwise, we have different options like dumbbells, kettlebells. If you have shoulders issue today, you can do front squat. If you have knees issues, for example, push press. Okay, so remove the shoulder part or legs. Burpees, we can do up downs. So,
do you know of people in the class who had those issues? Like, are there people in the class that you're like, I know they've got shoulder issues, or I know they got knee issues?
Not in this class. So,
Okay.
yeah, everyone was doing thrusters and thrusters and burpees. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just for your own sake, it might be, you don't need to add that piece of like, hey, if you have this, because you're like speaking to an invisible person. Like what I would say is like, if you've got anything going on, we can always scale to meet you wherever you're at. And that's probably understood within your space. Like, I don't think you need to go into quite that kind of detail necessarily. If you're confident doing so, and like, if you know somebody in the class has a knee thing and you go, hey, you know, hypothetically, if you had a knee thing and you look at them and you're like, we might do some push presses, and they're like, okay, then they feel taken care of. But unless you're speaking to someone specifically, I don't think it's fully necessary to throw in those extra pieces. It's just more time taken out of the larger class, and you can address those as you move into the actual workout too. But that's up to you when you want to phrase that. I wouldn't put it there personally.
Got it.
I'm going to hit play.
Plank stand. Okay, instead. Questions before we start moving? English, please. No? Okay. Huh? No, sir. I like that. Okay, so let's move forward. We need a barbell and a PVC, or as we say in Norwegian, a broomstick.
Broomstick. I'm going to get them in their places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really fastly. That must be that.
How'd you get your stuff printed on a Rogue
let's start
shirt?
Moving. So
What?
that.
How did you get your logo printed on a Rogue t-shirt?
At the printeria. I don't know how to call it.
Did you get a Rogue t-shirt and then bring them to the printer and have them print your logos on them?
Yeah, that sounds
nice. All right. I was like, okay, cool. All right, I got you.
Alternating spider.
It's legal in Norway.
That's a t-shirt in and of itself. It's legal in Norway.
Hips, chest. 1 minute, right side. Hey, little John, don't you want to?
Det ser ut som jeg gjemmer meg på kamera, men det faktisk helt tilfeldig. Det var fullt der. Da har vi stjålet plassen min. Har vi satt klart der.
Du kan bytte med...
Yeah, it looks like you're doing it, but this is a great time to just walk around and check in with people. Hey, how you feeling today? How's things going on? You know, like, I love your cornrows. Good job at getting some sick cornrows in there.
Okay, so
you can also in that time use it as a time to like across class be like, Jim, how was your weekend last weekend? And they'll be like, oh, it was so good. Blah, blah, blah. It's just so like it engages everyone who's kind of paying attention too.
So a little extra.
It's an easy way to start building community in a way that like is kind of feels organic and natural. Any of those down times where they're stretching is like, you know, is an easy time to start connecting each other and bringing in other things that you maybe know about someone that not everyone in the class does that they would clearly be okay with. So always use that time if you can.
Front rack, and the thrusters, obviously, today. Okay, so let's grab our barbell, put it on the back. So we're gonna do
shout out to Public Enemy on the radio.
Elbow rotations. So let's start 20 seconds. Whoa, right arm up, rib cage down.
You're jamming to it. I see. So if I asked you to
left side,
if I asked you right now, if you're looking around and you're watching this group right now, in hindsight,
let's start 20
tell me
seconds.
what you see as you look around the group and you look at the first person. What do you see about the girl in pink? What do you notice about that elbow?
About the elbow?
Yeah, what do you notice about how high she pushed that?
It's pretty high.
It's damn high, right? Super high. What do you notice about homie over here with the cornrows?
Rib cage down.
Not so
as
high.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with either of those, but you can use this time, same sort of deal as times to be like connecting with people, be like, ooh, getting that lat in there. And then dang, Shania,
And
your
then
elbow's up way
switch,
high. You're
left
nice and
side.
loose there. Good for you. Like blah, blah, blah. There's just little times to have personal touches. Because it seems to be that your flow is more like, hey, we're going to do a minute of this, and you move through, like they're just kind of going through. But as we said before, well, you needed to do a better job of controlling the reps and calling cues as the warm-up's happening, that was your previous feedback. And these little times are times you can just insert little personal touches.
Them both. So
because your generalized cueing is correct, like you're saying all the right things and they're all moving fine. But these are times for you to have individual connections. And you did it earlier with that little John guy where you were chatting with him, but see if you can do that very systematically around the group and be like, good. Knee sleeves are already on, Shania. I like check in with each person as you move about in these down times if you can.
Look forward.
Ready?
You're already engaging. Like you like the way you speak is already kind of funny and engaging, and like it's great. So the more you make it personal, the better that rapport will be with all your members. So I just think you can elevate it up a little bit. Like look at how different his elbows are than hers in this one. They're literally not even moving compared to hers.
So
and where does that come from?
I mean, I have 2-3 people on that side and 2 on the other side, so they're not in the camera. The thing is, last time, I don't remember, Cody, if you remember, I had them packed more than and now say 2 hours before class, somebody said, I don't want to appear on camera. Okay. And then I was a little bit, okay, what should I do? Okay. So then I put them this way.
I like this setup. I like this setup personally. I'm always trying to get other people I see in camera to stop doing circles. And I think this setup, what you're doing right now is really, really efficient in terms of you can kind of, especially where you're sitting, you can see all down both lines. They can all see you. It seems like a good position to me.
Try to slip a little bit your grip. Yes, something is moving, said Galileo. I don't know if they have any clue. Huh? Galileo is. All right, so now elbows forward. And then we're going to do 10 front squat. So this is a back squat with high elbows, okay? So shoulders width.
Look at the guy with the terrible lat mobility laughing at you. Did you see him laughing?
1.
It's like, it's not going to happen.
So
watch him as he goes here. Well. His little face. He's laughing there.
Try to slip.
I couldn't
3,
skip past
you
this
continue,
too hard.
10 reps.
But he was just laughing at you because you pushed your elbows up, and he's like, that's not going to happen, homie.
This is also an opportunity to check everybody's grip, right? Like, I know that we're warming up and maybe they are a little bit wider in this stretch, this dynamic movement where I'm just trying to like loosen some things up, but it's also a good time to be like,
6,
grip.
7,
hey, you're a little bit wide. Let's try to move it in a little bit.
Forward.
And And then
Nice.
as we're squatting
Hey,
now, like obviously we
even
can check
further
their
forward.
foot position.
Forward. Yes.
Yep. Grip and stance.
9.
Getting back to it.
And there was 10. Cool.
So what did you see as you walked around that group? Let me see. Let me see where you went.
3. You
Okay. So let's watch that again. Just that little piece. If I had everyone squat, I'm going to
shoulders width, chest up, and sit.
Oh, okay. Do you see anybody not below parallel?
Yeah, a few of them.
Everybody is not below parallel. I think there's only one who's close, and it's the girl in the back left. And granted, I stopped, and some people are going up and stuff like that. but there's 3 or 4 people here who are not even close to below parallel. And let's watch them as they move through reps. Let's see what happens.
1.
Let's
Down.
watch the girl
Two.
who's second from the back, or sorry, second from the front.
3. You continue.
She's not even
10
close.
reps.
This girl in front's good.
4.
What about this guy in black? You just
5.
looked at him.
Forward. Keep them high.
Got his elbows, but he's
6.
almost at parallel.
7.
Girl in back, she's nailing it. There we go.
Those elbows point forward. Oh,
His elbows.
nice. 8. Even further forward. Forward. Yes.
So what's going on with the
9.
2 girls that you're walking by right now? You're watching them?
And there was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, I see that probably they were both not going below parallel, and then their knees were collapsing, and they were like valgus. So
Right.
That's right.
Do you, when you're walking around the group, do you see that?
I think so. I wonder if I said that later on.
Maybe.
But of course, I probably should have caught them now.
Yeah, and so it's what's hard is kind of what we talked about before with you, which is needing to controlling the reps and calling the cues. And it's something that's it's not an uncommon pattern. I've talked about it probably on every show I've been on like this so far, but the calling reps, when I say down, go down, when I say up, come up, ready, and down, they all go down. Then you get the chance to look around at the whole group and be like, are they all below parallel? Jamie, lower, blah, 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 lower, or adjust your stance, blah, 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 stand. Okay, down. Okay, adjust, stand. And then that way, when they're going down and up on your count, you can see and catch if they're hitting those ranges. And then you can do something like, hey, give me 5 more reps at your own pace. So that way, like the first 5, you're getting those positions that you want and nothing gets by you. And then you afterwards are being like, okay, now you can do yours because I know you're going to go there, versus right now they might get 10, 15 reps in half range, and then you'll catch them down the road. And then they've got 15 reps partial range, and now all of a sudden they're finally being told to go below parallel. It's just a pattern that like I highly recommend, especially through warm-ups, just building up of like, I'm going to do the first couple reps on my count, and then the rest are going to be on your count. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Matt, about calling one side at a
Okay,
time, like
so-
I don't mind this for some things, but for
Let me show you.
most of the
what we
time,
are
you want to try to
going
keep the whole
do
class
now.
engaged instead of just one
So
side
pay
moving versus
attention,
the other,
please.
right? So
We're gonna do
or
front
something like
squat,
this, you can do it pretty fast if you know what you're looking for. Hey,
different
I'm going to
height
check
of
everybody's
squat. So we
stance
start-
on this one. Down.
So
Stance.
front squat,
Stance.
we're
Up.
gonna do
Down. Checking
only,
everybody's depth.
5
Hey,
centimeters.
fix. And so
down,
you can do it pretty
Then
fast.
push our elbows up and stand. Then we're gonna do 10, 15 centimeters down. Here, push from the elbows and up. And then we go all the way down. Here, elbows up and stand, okay? This is one set. We're gonna do this 4 times. First time with me. Okay, so front rack.
So this would be a good opportunity as they
Chest
go partially
up.
down. You're going to stop them.
Squeeze your
Look
shoulder
around the
blades.
group, see what you need, stand them up.
Elbows
So
high.
let's watch what happens.
Keep smiling.
Yeah, good. You got the
Nice,
smiles.
Good. Look good on camera. Okay, so 5
I love the
centimeter
under your breath
squat.
comments.
Stay
Okay, so
there,
stop here.
knees out, elbows high, and stand. Cool.
Okay, so everything you said was correct, but did you say it to any specific person? it wasn't there. There was no like, you were just saying knees out, elbows up, blah, blah, blah. So it wasn't necessarily to anybody. It was just a statement was made. So let's watch.
Okay, so 5 centimeter squat. Stay there, knees out.
Okay. Knees out. You said it, which is correct. If we look around the group, they all look pretty good. Well, actually the girl second from the front, she's got a narrow stance. She's got her knees straight and her toes straight rather than toeing out. We already know that she has a hard time getting below parallel. So that would be something you could adjust there because this is the initiation piece. The girl in the back left, she looks like she's a little passive in her knees too. This girl in the front looks like she's killing it. But yeah, this would be your opportunity to specifically be like, I don't know what this girl's name is. Red hair, smiley girl. Widen your stance out. Drive your knees out a little bit. Okay, good. Now everybody stand. All right. And then same sort of deal. So it would just be to the person rather than to the general group.
Okay.
Elbows high and stand. Go. Down 10 centimeters.
Same
Knees
thing.
out. Elbows high and stand. Last one. All the way down. High, high, high. And go. Cool. That's one. Once again. 5 centimeter. Elbows high. Stand. Nice. Be with us, John. So 10 centimeter.
So everyone's moving at different times. It's almost like they're messing with you. It's like a whack-a-mole thing where like half the people are standing and these ones go down and it's like whoop, whoop, whoop. And like, so you as a coach don't have any precision of where you can go eye-wise because they're all offering you different things. To be honest, Sergio, this is not uncommon patterning at all. I see it a lot with certain coaches who've developed it from oftentimes their first coach that they had treated the method like this of like, all right, give me 5 reps and I'll tell you what you need to do better. You know, that kind of thing. But I think you would give yourself more opportunity to see stuff if you did what I said earlier, which is just like at least the first couple reps drop. Like when I say down, go down. When I say up, come up. When I say halfway down, when I say weep, you go whoop. And when I say weep, you go like literally just the setup. You do this. I say this. You do this. And make it so you can have an easier time looking at stuff. Yeah. What Dan said, stay at the front, call the first 2-3 reps to set a tempo, then move around for the next 4 to 6, something like that. Again, like these people are getting a great time and you're engaging with them and they're moving and they're getting fit. Like we're being pedantic. Like these people are having a fucking awesome time and they're getting fit, but you're here to become better. So this is why I'm offering you this.
Yeah.
Stand. Last one. All the way down. Elbows up, knees out. Elbows up.
Hey, you got her. Take that.
2 more. So 5 centimeter. High with your elbows. Stand. Nice.
Oh, now you're kind of doing
now 10. Knees out. Elbows high and stand. One more. All the way down.
You got her.
Thank you. And stand. Last one.
She's having a hard time hitting
High
depth
with your
because her
elbows.
stance is a little narrow.
And stand. 10 centimeter. Start from the elbows and stand all the way down. Elbows high and stand. Beautiful. Thank you. Now you can breathe. Good job. Okay.
So why would you use a progression that was part of the way down, stand, another part of the way down, stand, all the way down? What's the reason for doing it that way?
I think it's connect. I mean, it's because of the thrusters. So they have an idea when to extend and do the push press, and on the way down, meet the bar and then squat down, as well as to keep the elbows high or start moving up the squat by the elbows so they don't fall forward.
Yeah. So like that part of the way down gives you a position for you to look at for, hey, this is where then on the turnover and the up, this is where you're going to do the thrust for the thruster, where you're going to like receive that bar. And then I think what's really important for you as the coach is because you have that 5 centimeter piece, you can focus on a lot less, right? If they're going all the way down, there's a lot of shit that can go wrong. Whereas the first 5 centimeters, there's less that can go wrong. You can just focus on making sure everyone elbows are up. You can just focus on making sure the hips are going back rather than straight down. You can just focus on seeing that their stance fits the situation that they're doing right there. So if you use a progression that it has a simpler portion at the front end, just make sure you get the things you want from that piece. Like, okay, drop 5 centimeters down, and then you look around and you get everything you need from that 5 centimeters. And then you get a couple reps there, and just make sure you're getting what you need there. And because, I mean, there's something to be said for just doing it for the sake of doing it. That's great. But also you could use it to get those pieces before you get to the full movement. And that's usually the beauty of using a partial piece progression like that.
Nice. Thank you. I like that.
Okay. It's like
Thrusters.
Almost all.
So
the
thing with thrusters is
till we do.
We have to think about the squat.
I was reading Eaton's
part as
comment.
we did now, but also the way
What is Eaton Beaver's real name? Do you guys know that? Does anybody here know that? Is it Mike? I don't know. You're muted, Cody. But if I keep saying Eaton Beaver with this little logo here,
I think it's Michael. Yeah.
okay, all right. I don't know how I knew that, but
some of us probably is gonna have some problems with how to hold the barbell. So what we can think about is somewhere in between, front squat, open hand, few fingers only, or full grip. Okay, some of us can't hold this high, must be a little bit down. So somewhere that I can hold the barbell 15 reps and still resting the barbell off my shoulders and chest. Okay, so now we're going to do the push press portion of the thruster. So shoulders width. Okay, so elbows in front. So brace, bend, straight up. Okay.
Right. So you use that dip drive progression so you can, kind of get into this one now,
okay?
Which is a similar piece. I like it. Good job.
Which is this position. Then when
you
I
better
say
fix
go,
all their shit right now.
explode.
Sergio.
All right. All right. So dip down. Go.
Okay, so that was your opportunity to look around the group and see if you saw anything, right? That dip down, and then you should have had the opportunity to be like, check. No, yes, no, yes, like make those adjustments. Let's see.
All right. So dip down. It's never good. All right,
oh my God, what did I do?
Shoulders. Most important thing is the other way around.
Where are
Usually you.
There's the elbows. There's that. There's thruster. I lost it, son of a gun.
Oh, this is a real Ackerman move here.
I clicked the wrong thing, dude.
It's the same. Elbows high, squat down.
Okay, so they're in the thrusters there.
You have 3 rounds. That's it. You can hip and go.
There it is.
Nice.
Okay.
Now you continue in your own 3 to 5 reps.
Okay, yeah, just keep a couple of reps.
Yeah.
Up and let's explode, as I said. All right. So dip, go. Much better. Okay. One more.
Who did much better?
Dip down.
Everybody.
Hip and go. Nice. Now you continue your own 3 to 5 reps.
Everybody.
Nice. So that and jerk. So boom, straight up. Yes. Oh, beautiful.
So I like how you look for a specific thing on someone and you get it. And it seems like you do. And you do a really good job of complimenting them when they get it. Like you wanted more power from her. Great. You were like, bam. And you kind of did that. And she got more power. And you're like, yes, good. I like that. She has other stuff going on. But I like your confidence in going there, being with them. Give me this. You get it. Cool. And you move on. And I think the more you did that, the better this whole experience would be, because you tend to speak in big generals, you tend to speak in big, and the only time that you do those individual things is when you're right in front of someone, and I think you could, and I feel like a broken record. I keep saying this in videos. I think you could stand more at the front and be like, do this, do this, do this, do this. Like every single like time their dip and hold, elbows up, knees push out, Jimmy, blah, blah, blah. And the more specific you are with it, the more like personal it feels, even though you're standing in one spot. And then you move around the group like this. Cause like your movement's good. Don't change that. Keep doing the movement. Keep connecting with people on an individual level like this, but do more of it when you're in one place at the front and you're going through those initial reps. I think it'll just heighten everything else that you do.
We said the same thing with Kat Cerrone. Like she likes to jump in and get super personal, tactile cues. And it's like, all right, I love that you like that. I love that you're good at that. But you're going to be faster and more and maybe a little bit more efficient, be able to call more reps, more cues if you can do that from standing at the front. Then whenever you do move to the side, you've got that person that's right in front of you and the person that's across the room from them. And because you've worked on that, you're able to get both at the same time. Instead of every rep, I'm just getting one person. And then I'm going to call the next rep and move to the next person and the next rep for the next person. It's like every rep you could get 2, 3, 4, the whole group at the same time.
Yeah. Because you're a ninja, a flipping ninja.
We call those, Dan, we call those good grenades.
Just en liten jerk, så samme som wallballs. Okay? Så ikke den. Nei. Yes.
Good grenades.
That's it. You can, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be difficult with the way to do this. So you need to hold it on your bone here. So it's difficult with weight to hold it here. Cool. And now we're going to do thruster. So listen up. Still listening up. Beautiful. We're going to do 3 sets.
Love getting everyone paying attention.
Only.
Big fan.
Okay? 6 to 8 reps. We work every 2 minutes. So we're going to work with the timer. Okay? So every 2 minutes, 120 seconds, you do 6 to 8 thrusters, barbell only. Then you have 3 rounds where you can build up to the weight you are looking for today. Okay? So 6, 8 reps. It's going to be a good test for how much I'm going to go for today. Remember, we said at least 2 rounds of unbroken 15 thrusters. Okay? So 6 to 8 thrusters, first 3 rounds, barbell only. So, okay, 10 seconds. Elbows high, squat down. Nice. Okay. Up med albuen. Up med albuen. Squat down. Boom, all the way up.
You tend to be upper body
But I don't want
focused.
you to fall forward. So,
You catch
yes.
it quite easily. Like you see elbows, you see chest pitching, you see power and speed through the top when the bar doesn't move fast enough. But I think you've yet to address a stance or a knee. I think you kind of walk by someone and touch their knee on one of them. But you've got a few depth issues, a few stance issues, a few knee issues. And I mean, we can see it all in this video. But I would urge you just for your own sake, maybe as you walk around for your next class, scan low. So like instead of starting high and going down, start low and go up. Start at a base. So like develop the patterning of I'm going to look at their feet. That looks right. And then look at their knee, then look at their hip, then look up the body. Because the patterning of top down, you can get stuck on something up above and never move on from it. And oftentimes stance is off if something else is kind of fluttering about. So I think stance is an easy place to go first. If you develop the eye of bottom up, then let that adjust as it goes in there, because those stances are often more limiting than a dropped elbow or some weird power through the middle in terms of the overall positioning.
Yeah.
You can do that? Nice. So you probably should go a little bit slower, put it on your shoulders, and then squat down.
Catching a dynamic fall.
Say because it's only Okay. What a beautiful question. Should I go i ett, as we say in Norway, or should I go at once? Or it's the same. Yes, what I want you to do is come down before you start squatting, okay? So first barbell, touch, it's like a button, touch your shoulders, and then you squat together. Same on the way up. First, extend, then up, okay? So on the way down, button, boom. So don't squat down, because it's gonna completely burn your shoulders, which, by the way, you're gonna use for burpees as well, okay?
So they're doing a couple rounds without load, right?
Yes, 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
At least.
And it's on the 2-minute mark?
Here's a question from Dan real quick, Pat.
Oh, yeah. Dan said, when it comes to addressing multiple issues, do you ever find that athletes may be overloaded sometimes when they have to fix depth, knees, back, and elbows? If so, how'd you know? Yeah, absolutely. Ideally, Dan, by the time that they're in a full movement, you've had the opportunity to address individual pieces along the way. It's kind of what I was hitting at with Sergio, is like, you want to use those partial range reps and stuff earlier on as you're building up to the full movement to address a combination of things, to where you don't have as many structural issues going on during the final movement. But there comes a time where it just goes wrong and you're like, and you get there and many things are going wrong. So just like they say at the level 1, you kind of have to triage that and say, okay, what's going to have the greatest impact across this movement, and address that one first. So like if it's depth, knees, back, and elbows, depending on the movement that we're doing, if they're in a loaded position, like a front squat or something like this, I'm going to say, hey, we can't have a rounded back like that. That can't be a thing that happens here. So we have to adjust that. Now, elbows and back should be adjusting themselves together. So driving your elbows up should flatten out the back. That's kind of the purpose that we want the elbows up for. So we would maybe address those two in one go, like, hey, really get your elbows up. That's going to help flatten out the back. And then if we also had, and then we'd maybe do 1 or 2 reps there, seeing what they had. Then if they've got, knees and depth still going on, I'd see which one of those is the cause of that. Like if they have knees caving and they're not going deep enough, that's a weird scenario, because usually but if that's the case, then what I would do is I'd start oftentimes with adjusting their stance to the proper stance, and then making sure their knees are pushed out before I'd bring them to depth. And then I would address depth as the last piece. But it has to be over the course of a few reps, rather than giving them all of it in one go. But ideally, like I said, you've addressed those things throughout the session. So you're maybe just revisiting back to, hey, remember the knees. Hey, remember your elbows, versus having to teach that come full movement. But there is a time where you just have to, let's stop it and pull it back. Whoops. You know?
And Fern has also said this before too. It's like, obviously safety is number 1, right? Like if it's unsafe, we address that for sure. But then also knowing your people well enough to know what is better and just how much you're going to get that day. Like, all right, I know I've got Jeff over here and he's working on his front rack, and it's like, that is better. And I definitely want to continue to work on that, but maybe not like all today. Jeff doesn't have to be 110% better in this class. He's better. And then he's going to show up tomorrow and we're going to work on something else. He's going to come back next week and we're going to hit him on his front rack again. And we're going to keep working him over the course of weeks and months to get into a better and better and better position.
Yeah. But safety is a non-negotiable.
For sure.
They have to be safe for the big pieces, and then which are mainly like back and knees for the most part, and like elbows colliding with knees kind of thing. And then my biggest one after that is actually range of motion. I will stress range of motion hard. I won't let someone get away with a shortened range of motion because it's slightly easier for them. It's like, dude, if you can show me it once pretty decently, then you have to do it every flipping time. Like, there's no conversation of like, oh, you're giving it your all, but going halfway. It's like, no, you're fucking not. You're going to go like, you're going to go all the way down and do a quarter of the load if I have to, but there's some some give and take there. Cool. So sorry, Dan had a follow-up, and this is actually something that happens at level 1 for me, which is weird, which I hear some of my other people talk about, and they're like, I might spend an entire session just working on this. And it's like, really? Like an entire session? Like those other things are not that hard to work on at the same time, maybe a couple reps, but I don't think to truly get it perfect. I think you can get a lot to happen with someone in a single session. And ideally that those fundamental pieces happen in some sort of an on-ramp program or like a learning platform, but you can get a lot more than one thing to happen. But there might be one big thing that you focus on, but you can't just like let those other points go. I occasionally hear some weird presenter stuff where there'll be like, I might just focus on knees for an entire week. And I'm like, really? Really? You're going to just focus on knees for an entire week? Your session's an hour long. The hell are you doing for the entire other hour? You say, push your knees out, and they do it one time and you're like, good, keep going. So yeah, there's a balance there, but I don't like, so we're focusing on posture and position today. Yeah, but can they get depth and posture and position? If they show me it once, then I'll do the whole time. Yeah. If it's like not going to happen, that's a different story.
All right, 20 seconds, 6 to 8 thrusters.
Let's see it. Oh, she's jamming. You got a great musical choice, Sergio.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got about like 5 minutes left here. Do you want to skip forward?
Nope, Sergio's staying for like an hour and a half.
3:29. All right.
Dude, he's got to go to bed.
Is unbroken.
No way.
Question. Celia, you can wait.
Let's see what happens once people start moving.
While you're gonna lift 15 or something like that. Do that because I think it's good to know. All right. So was that okay? No, I thought you just wanted to build up to a heavy. My jewelries. Elbows high. Squat down. Keep the heels down, Celia.
See what you did there? Keep those heels down, Celia.
Yeah.
She knew who you were talking to. I knew who you were talking. I didn't even see you. But like if we closed our eyes and listened to the front end of your class, you could have been speaking to an empty room, or you could have been speaking to a group of 20 people, and it would have been the same class. And that's what I want to avoid. Like, even though you're saying all the right stuff and you might have an idea of someone, like, I want you to speak to someone. I want you to see something in your head. Like, it's not bad to necessarily have the generalized, hey, make sure we remember to push our knees out. But I also, right after that, want you to be like, I mean you, Celia, like I want it to be specific to the people who are in front of you. And the more you do that, the better. And I think you can, and these people, and you already have like great rapport with them. It seems like they love you. It seems like you've got a good vibe to you. So people want that, I think, unless in the culture there, they hate being talked to. I don't know.
Good one. Looks solid. Yes.
Yeah, good. And you're talking to an individual. You're getting after it.
Rib cage down.
Kan vi høre på noe Prodigy eller skikkelig hardt?
Ja, det må vi.
Jeg har bare sagt akkurat på disse at
You know what you do while you speak to me and you get ready to the next one? Just let's stretch a little bit your legs.
And you're personalizing it for her. That's good.
This one is perfect.
She was having elbow stuff earlier, eh?
Stretch. Yes.
So something you could do that I've seen a couple times this class is you'll have dead time between reps. You could say, hey, between your reps, I want you to kick out to pigeon pose and hold that for me. Things that are just like, hey, drop to the bottom squat, push your elbows on the inside of your knees. Little things to fill those gaps, because on the minute stuff's great because it's short, but on the 2 minutes or even more, it just gives too much time for like twiddling your thumbs. And unless you want to be like in there and fill in all that gap, say, hey, in between these reps, just kick out to a pigeon pose for me. Here's what a pigeon pose looks like. And I'll tell you when we kick into the next thing. Or like, on this first one, we're going to lunge on out, tuck the hips under, put the hands up nice and high. Like just have little things that keep the flow of the class moving. I almost like to think of it as, and even like, you know, those times where you're, you know, you give a long talk on, hey, this is how I want you to hold the bar, and this is where it's going to go off our shoulder. And like you do a lot of teaching, which is good. But in that time, you could fill that with them. Hey, everybody drop down to the bottom of the squat, push the elbows on the inside of the knees, and then listen up here. Okay. On this next rep, we're going to do this. And all it does is it helps keep them engaged so they never feel like there's dead time. And I think something that happens is this happens actually to a lot of coaches who go from a really high volume program that does a lot of stuff in a day to a less focused, like a singular focus program where they're only teaching 2 or 3 movements. And then the rest is like, you know, general warm up and stuff like that, is that they don't make the movements continually flow. And what they tend to do, because they're used to fitting so much shit in class that the shit just, you know, they had to do it. Whereas when you minimalize it down to like, we've got one workout, it gives you the opportunity to like keep talking, which is good, but you need to fill that space with them like moving and feeling the flow. And like, and then that way they're never like, sometimes classes don't have enough stuff. It's like, no. Like we can fill that time, and we can fill it with stretching and mobilizing, and we can fill it with, okay, I want you to, once you put the bar down, everybody go get another set of plates and bring it back to your bar, because we're going to go into the next set. And like, and you can fill those little dead spaces with time like that, or things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I love these feedbacks.
Well, I'm glad you love it, Sergio.
It's not going to be a problem today.
I want to see when they start getting this workout. So like, see as I move through here. Oh, here's thruster.
Boom, powerful, good.
She's still got her knees going this whole time.
Look forward, I have probably more chances to extend my hips and knees. Okay, so
yeah, another benefit too of like having people do stuff while they're listening to you and moving through it is, one, it keeps them engaged, but 2, when you actually have them do nothing and just listen, like, hey, we're just about to start the workout, look at me, we're going to go over this, then they're extra paying attention because they're not doing anything. They're like, oh, this is getting serious. Whereas if like the rest of the class, they're kind of flowing and moving, then you bring up these like bigger points of like, this is, again, let's realign and do this. Then when you just talk, it's like, oh, it's serious. I'm not doing anything right now, so I better listen. So it kind of sets that patterning for you too.
We're going to do 5 reps of this.
So you're demoing again. It's the same demo you did last time, huh?
I didn't watch forward, but I was watching down, but I think I extended anyway. Okay? So, and another trick, you don't need to jump too high. You just need to get off the ground. Okay? So, 3 sets of 5 burpees. Look at the timer. Rest about 30 seconds between rounds. Okay? So, 5, rest 30 seconds. 5, rest 30 seconds. 5 reps.
You structure your class with a lot of work, rest. I like that. Like, I think that's cool.
Nice.
It allows people to move at the same time. Just make sure that you can also fill that space and make sure you don't have too many downtimes.
Nice.
I thought you muted me,
5
Cody,
reps,
and I was like, how dare you?
Then rest.
No, I only mute Ackerman.
20, 30 seconds. I'm going to do 5 reps again. Remember, we've been talking before about this or this. Just, I know you usually do this. You don't like to go full pound. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, when you're ready, 5 reps.
What was that about?
She only put her fingers and she does burpees, not full hand. But that's how she's always doing. I feel like it's her, but
light jump.
She said it's okay. So we just asked her to try full hand.
What's all this? I don't know. Yeah, well, come on, guys. How bad can that be?
I love it. What were you saying?
No, I mean, he's a pretty new guy. And he says everybody's stressing about this workout. So what it's all about? Because they know what's coming. And he doesn't.
If you're
It's awesome.
I was joking
That's
with him.
awesome.
I don't know what's the hype about.
I know it's possible. Okay.
Just the workout.
Stretch up on top.
Good job.
Reminds me of the Matrix.
Good. Come on. Okay, come on. Keep moving.
What do you see there? Let's watch her do thrusters again.
Yeah, I gave her a cue, but
A little bit.
it helps.
What do you?
They're up. Hips.
Is she locking at her elbow?
Probably not.
Is she going all the way down?
Okay, come on. Keep moving.
I don't think so. I don't think she's going all the way down. I don't think she's locking at her elbow. And I don't think she was more aggressive with her hips when you told her hips.
I should have asked her to put away those extra weights probably and try again.
Maybe, but you could have also said something else. You could have also said jump harder. You should more aggressive, push up. Like you had like 10 other cues that you could have thrown at her before you don't need to jump straight to scale it back necessarily.
Try something else first.
Try many other things first. Only once they absolutely can't do it, would you be like, fine. You got to pull it back because you're not getting there. Because I think she could. And that's kind of, I think, the two big themes I want you to walk away with. One is it's almost similar to your feedback last time, which is like, I want you to be able to use your progressions to coach individual things into individual people from one spot. I want you to be able to, like, from the beginning, just be like, okay, down, hold, adjust. Hey, Phil, you, wider stance, you, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to start from the bottom up because that's the patterning we talked about. Really, really getting those stances and knees and hand grip positions that you want, that you know that you need. Because I know you can see these things. I just want you to get that before you move on. So use those progressions to have a lot of individual cueing. When I say this, you do this. And then in those holds, you say, okay, adjust here, and use those static places to get the type of movement that you really want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the next thing I want is, in general, you need to be catching a lot more. I want you to be more ruthless. I want you to not, and you can do it through a smile. But I think by holding people accountable earlier on, when you're doing these progressions, they won't get to the very end where you see the girl moving like that and you're like, I don't know, because you see a few things going on there. So I want you to sharpen your eye up for just the basics. Like you have an interesting thing where you catch dynamic fault pretty well. You're like, oh, she's not being powerful enough. I need her to be more aggressive. She needs to punch overhead a little harder, things like that. But the big kind of dumb static pieces, I say dumb, not as in like just simple. The simple static pieces, they're kind of missing. Like her squat's not great, and she exhibited that from the beginning of class till now. Her overhead position, her lockout is a sloppy. So it's like, those things can be more precise. And so my two big things for you are, one, use your progressions to get more and more individual touches in the beginning of class. Like more of just like, I want you to do this and then have them all go on your command, down, up. Okay. You do this, down, up, whatever it is. And then be a bit more relentless in the beginning with the basics. Your eye on the dynamic is good, but your eye on the basics is soft, is what I would say. So a harder eye.
All right. Harder eye.
Harder I. But does
Yeah.
that all make sense?
Absolutely.
Cool.
And I agree with you. I don't feel I delivered the best class I could actually.
Sergio, like the problem is like these people had a great time. They got a great fucking workout and they're getting more fit. And it's because of the gym that you have there and the community that you've created. So I don't have any issue at all with what you're doing. I want you to be more effective, which is why I'm offering this feedback. So even when you say, oh, it wasn't a great class, it doesn't fucking matter. Like you're doing the things you need to be doing, but you want to be more effective, which is why I'm offering this to you.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, Sergio, you want to do it again?
Anytime. I love it.
I mean, at this point, we're just going to have you on every month.
There it is. reoccurring Serge.
No, I like it. You know, like that is the whole point.
Guys.
It's the whole point of this show. It's the reason why, why we wanted to do it in the first place is, we want to be able to give people the feedback that they want. If you want feedback and, you're in Sergio's position where like he's the owner, he's the top dog over there. Probably not getting a lot of feedback from anybody else over there. So it's like, you got to go search for it. And we talked to Sam O'Connor last week, he was getting ready for his level 4 assessment. And he's like, yeah, man, like I did anything and everything, right? Like I'm going to coach at other people's boxes. I'm going to have my own coaches evaluate me. I'm on the show and I'm having you guys evaluate me and pick me apart and give me feedback. And it's good. And it's all for like what Pat was talking about, giving people quote unquote the best hour of their day.
Oh shit.
Sergio, I'll reach back out, man. I really appreciate you coming back on, and I know it's late over there. You got to get to sleep. You got to coach to 5 a.m. tomorrow?
No, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Well, you get to sleep in a little bit.
Easy.
Awesome. Do you have any other questions for us, Sergio?
No, not really. Actually, I just wanted to thank you guys once again.
Yeah.
I just love this program, as I said, and I know by helping me, you're helping other 120 people from tomorrow when I see them. So I just love it and I want to say thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Sergio.
Thank you. And I'll see you again soon.
Guys, if you're watching the show, you're tuning in later, if you're in the chat and you want to be on, super simple. Just email Cody, KODI, at besthouroftheirday.com. and just say, hey, like, I need some feedback. I want to be on the progression. I want to come on. What do I need to do? And I'll get you the details. Gentlemen, till next time. See you guys.
Ciao.